Let's start with a look at the top stories. Leaders demand for Lake Albert shooting report. Police army intensify security in Kisenyi city suburb. Christians encouraged to embrace online services. While Uganda completes double win over Zimbabwe in Rugby Africa Women's Cup. UBC News Tonight, thank you so much for joining in. My name is Michael Jordan Lukoma. Muhammad Mugalu is the man in the sign language corner. Starting what we have for you tonight, victims of the River Nyamwamba incessant floods have criticized their leaders for neglecting them in times of hardship. Over 70 residents of Chogo Cell in Nyamwamba division are currently camped at Kasese Humanist School with no significant help from stakeholders. A reporter from that end has details to the story.
It is a tough experience for persons affected by the recent River Nyamwamba floods in Kasese. According to the head of victims, Kisuki Mustafu, they've not had food for the last month. He says even their members of parliament have not bothered to check on them.
Women MP tana kutuka district chairman tana kutuka kwegamba abagenda mu parliament bonna tebana kutuka n'omu wabula yatuuka wano muntu omu yekka Charles Kahindo.
An 81-year-old woman whose crops and house were washed away by floods says some COVID-19 relief from government would bail her out if given.
Itwe turi abantu bahasi tibatumanyire no kutumanya nkagenda bangamba ngunyowe ntwale ndanga muntu yani nibenda itwa banako abatini ifwe na ruguru ndanga muntu obunagifweire batwandika kandi nibari bamezi gakansisire bikaka buli kintu mgeni nebitoke nkanyine bitoke byona byasisikara ekibakozire bagamba ngunyo ntwale siringi 10 niko tuzo mu kitebe nabagamba hatenzo mu kitebe siringi 10 nkanye ndarwihanka.
Michael Adrian, who is also camped at the same school, says he is facing a challenge of his grandson's demands of food all the time. A concerned resident of Kasese municipality, Basisa Brian, says government needs to work closely with Kalembe Mines Limited, a company that is good at controlling the river during floods.
In the collapse of Kalembe Mines has caused the whole of Nyamwamba, the turmoil we are in right now. When you look at the disbursement of the population, there's need for government to intervene, get a specific place where they can put the IDPs, the internal displaced persons, so that they get a permanent place where they can put them. And then in that way, they will have solved problem number one.
He also urged all people to move away from Nyamwamba river banks and desist from cultivating in the river valley.
But however, government has to see a way of doing that. They need to see how they compensate these families. They need to see how they can sensitize the people on the challenges of living around the shores of Nyamwamba. And when they do that, then they will be in a position to have solved that problem.
The area MP, Kambale Feligo, says he will table the issue on the floor of Parliament next week.
Chikube district leaders want government to account for Ugandan fishermen killed by suspected DRC militiamen on Lake Albert. Early this week, Robert Amukuhikiriza, Deo Busobozi and Seremos Biaranga, all attached to Nsunzu B landing site in Buhuka Parish, were shot and injured by suspected DRC militiamen.
Gun-trotting militiamen raided Uganda's side of Lake Albert and robbed Uganda fishermen of fishing gear, including engines, fishing nets and engines made this week. Now, Chikube LC5 Vice Chairperson Vincent Alpha Opio wants the government to immediately investigate and come up with a comprehensive report and also find out the motive of the persistent attacks.
It has been too much, more especially to the fisher community on Lake Albert, more so in Chikube district. After receiving serious attacks, more especially from the Congolese, whereby they come attack our fishermen, take their fishing gears, and later ask for ransom for them to pay and recover their properties. And the unfortunate part of it, of recent last Monday, whereby even they ended up shooting our fishermen, 3 of them, and they were critically injured. And as I talk now, they are still in the hospital taking treatments.
Christopher Nkalu, the Chikube District Council Speaker, says that attacks have left the fishermen with no source of income. He says that the district is set to petition the Ministers of Defence and Internal Affairs, respectively, over the rampant attacks.
That called for a council, and that council was topped on orders of the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Local Government. The purpose of that council was to institute the boards and commissions, whereby we have the District Land Board and the Service Commission. Hoima District, our mother district, continue to transact business on behalf of Chikube District. Hoima District Land Board continue to process land titles in Chikube. Of recent, we learned of 4 land titles that were going to be issued, and then our senior lands officer intervened. So the process was halted. So it is the reason as to why we want to institute an independent district land board to ensure that we harmonize with the issues related to land. And then last financial year, we had over 500 million wage bill go back to Treasury. This wage bill was meant to facilitate salaries, to pay salaries for the workers. Apparently, we have low human staff. So we have low human resource. So it is the reason as to why we want to institute an independent district service commission to make sure that we advertise and then recruit more staff for effective service delivery.
Dallas Sentongo wonders why security operatives deployed along the shores of Lake Albert cannot protect fishermen from attacks. Attacks by the suspected DR Congo militiamen on Uganda fishermen have been rampant since 2018 to date, which has put the lives of Ugandan fishermen on Lake Albert in danger.
The increasing insecurity in Mengo Chisenyi 2 parish, that is Kampala Central, is worrying residents and the security leaders in the area. According to Chairperson Kasatu Village, Sunday Chiwananko Oyoyo, the lockdown has increased muggers who brutalize innocent residents in the area. The security agencies, including police, the army, and local defense units, among others, have intensified measures to arrest the situation.
The deteriorating insecurity in Mengo Chisenyi 2 Parish, Kampala Central Division has prompted the police, army, local defense units, among others, to hold a joint security meeting with the parish security communities to curb the increasing crime rates. During a security meeting at Kakajo Village, the team unanimously resolved to intensify stringent measures aimed at ensuring security of person and property. This follows several complaints from residents and local council leadership on the increasing assailants' brutalities by the youth to innocent residents, especially in the period of lockdown.
Nga banyega abantu bade waabwe n'omujjako akasimuke abeera kuzwa amaanyi okuba
abaana abaffe bennyini betuzaala bayitiridde okubba abantu bwe babateega emisana babateega ekiro nga babakuba anyhow
bakola ne road block muluka munisi olina woyinza kuddukira kati muno muluka omubbi ne bwamenya ennyumba atwala ebintu n'abijja n'abituse najja n'ankumbi ku mutwe.
The chairperson, Kasato Village, Sande Chiwana Nkoyoyo, with other parish leaders, advised the parents to control their children who engage in the robbery and brutality acts in the area.
Abazibu omusango mwekubemu omutima mulokoke okubeera nga mubonyabonya abantu bataata bakojja mubule abaana kyetuliko si kyangu abantu bekyaye.
Security committees zonna zigenda kuzukukweza buli kyala abantu 10 genda okukola ne rodiyo kikakasa nti wanaaba omubbi anaddamu okutigomya abantu.
Abazadde batwala omukisa batwala okulaba nti abaana babeereko nnyo, abaana b'eggwanga tubeetaaga abaana.
Mengo Kisenyu Parish has 10 villages including Kasato, Kakajjo, Chiganda and Mbiro among others. Sudat Kaye, Robert Boita, UBC News.
Minister for Lands, Housing and Urbanization Judith Nabakova says that all regional and zonal land offices across the country are now open and accessible to members of the public, especially those seeking assistance related to land matters. However, she noted that these must operate in compliance with the COVID-19 standard operating procedures. Nabakova was addressing a media briefing at her office in Kampala.
The Ministry for Lands closed its regional and zonal offices for unspecified period at the beginning of the lockdown as a measure to limit the spread of the COVID-19 infection. But now this directive has been reversed by the incoming Minister for Lands, Judith Nabakova.
Following the establishment of strong internal COVID-19 prevention systems, the Ministry has taken the decision to reopen the zonal offices. The offices started to operate on the 15th of July 2021.
But these are to operate in line with COVID-19 operating procedures laid down.
Part of these directives mandate all government institutions to maintain 10% capacity of human resource. And in line with above, the staff at all zone offices will be expected to work on rotational basis in line with the sequence of their work to ensure timely completion of land transactions.
The minister also disclosed that the districts of Mubende, Kasanda, Mityana, Nakasongola, among others, tops the list of the areas where land evictions continue despite the earlier directive against evictions.
The law is also very clear on the protection of the bona fide occupants and lawful occupants. The security of occupants of tenants, all vibanja holders on registered land, is protected by the Constitution but also the Land Act. Given that majority of the government systems, such as courts of law, are not fully operational during this time, it is wrong to evict people because the affected persons do not have anywhere to run to. Given the above, I therefore direct as follows. No tenant by occupants should be evicted from their bibanja or the land they are in possession during the COVID-19 lockdown period. Any forceful engagements and all impending evictions should be reported to the nearest police station, office of the RDC, and courts of law.
To forge a way forward, the ministry is to hold a stakeholders meeting where land eviction, outcomes of the inquiry committees like that of Justice Catherine Bamugemereire and presidential directives will be discussed. Robert Onyango, UBC News.
Christians have been asked to remain steadfast while following in the path of the biblical teachings despite the hardships they are facing, especially now with the COVID-19 induced lockdown. The Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, Right Reverend Dr. Stephen Samuel Kazimba Mugalu, says that a lot of temptations remain manifesting, but these should not mislead believers to veer from the teachings of the Most High. This was during a Sunday service that was exclusively held in strict observance of the SOPs at Namirembe.
Due to the ongoing lockdown, church services remain exclusive to a few, except those attending via different social media platforms. This Sunday, Namirembe and Rubaga Cathedral services had a handful of attendants, mainly spiritual leaders and choir members. The Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, the Right Reverend Stephen Samuel Kazimba Mugalu, is hopeful that the ongoing temptations that believers are facing will soon come to an end. He, however, encouraged believers countrywide to remain focused on the biblical teachings as the best remedy.
Abantu bangi abatawanyizidde obulwadde buno bwa COVID newankubadde nga olw'okufa naye ate abawonye be bangi, tukubire Katonda mu ngalo olw'ensonga eyo. Ate era newankubadde nga waliwo ebigambo ebikwatagana ku kamere naddala emmere egabibwa ku masimu. Waliwo oli gwe nalabye nga essimu agiteze namulabe ku WhatsApp nga alinda naye omwana we yekonye nga nagitunulako nga tiri kajja naye oba eriyo akazoba teri naye ekisa kya Katonda kijja kubeerawo kubanga ye Mukama tayinza kutwabulira n'akatono. Katonda mukubire mu ngalo. Era waliwo ebibuuzo byakomyewo. Ekyo kyebalize Katonda okuba nti mu COVID ono abaana basobola okukola ebibuuzo n'owuwo n'akola. Ekyo kyebalize kubanga eriyo abatasobola.
The Bishop of South Ankole Diocese, the Right Reverend Nathan Ahimbisibwe, attended and participated in the Namirembe service. He asked Christians to embrace the new normal of attending church service via different social media platforms for their spiritual growth.
The church building is locked, but the gospel is not locked down. Ebiseera bise bitono nabadde mbuulira mu mission international mission. Mbadde mbuulira abantu 3,994,000. 3.94 million once. Where do you get that church? Ojijawa ate mukutu etujifanya. Mukama atuwadde ekisa tubuulire enjiri. Tukozese eno media ekola ekyamagero.
As we gather in this place today, Holy Spirit.
At Rubaga Cathedral, the main celebrant was Reverend Father Henry Mubiru, who challenged the believers, especially those in leadership positions, to render exemplary leadership.
Ono Omukama bw'akuwa obuvunaanyizibwa ku bantu abalala tebafuuka bantu bo, abo bantu ba Katonda. Awo nno olina okubasaamu ekitiibwa ate n'okutuukiriza obuvunaanyizibwa bwo mu ngeri eweesa Katonda ekitiibwa, kubanga Katonda ye yakussaawo okulembere abantu be. Ate nga bwe tuwulidde mu ssomo erisooka nti bw'ojaajamya obuvunaanyizibwa obwo, Omukama alina ebbeetu okubukuggyako nabuwa abantu abalala. Awo n'ekisinga obukulu kwe kubeera omwetowaze n'okumanya obuvunaanyizibwa bwo gye bwava ate n'okubutuukiriza mu ngeri eweesa Katonda ekitiibwa.
Dorcas Kimono, UBC News.
Still from church leaders across the country have designed new methods of fighting the COVID-19. This is through encouraging workers to love their jobs amidst challenges and through preaching unity among people, churches, families, and other communities in the nation. This will close the gap of the enemy to enter and destroy the nation.
A prominent religious leader in Kampala, Bishop Daniel Kutesa Wadimba, has urged the public to stop blaming health workers over simple mistakes, forgetting the risk they are taking in stopping the virus from ravaging Ugandans. This was at an award-giving ceremony in appreciation of health workers at Mulago Hospital.
I started a campaign, and I'm not backing off, to make sure that we thank all health workers nationwide. I'm not coming to your area maybe, but there is a medical work there. There is a health worker in your area. You guys mobilize yourselves, go and appreciate these individuals. The people who work in mortuaries, the people who drive ambulances, the medical doctors, the midwives, and everybody. in this line. And that's why I've prepared this certificate, and I'm dropping it off in different places where you people are being treated, where I'm being treated, to say thank you to these individuals.
Bishop Wadimba says all health workers should be appreciated for supporting the healthcare system.
Think about COVID. They risk, and they've been risking for years. But the only thing we do is to abuse them, is to kick at them, is to say everything we want to say. But when shall we appreciate them? Now the time has come. I want to encourage us. Let us go out as Ugandans and salute all health workers, from the minister to the last individual who serves in this sector.
Speaking at the same event, Apostle John Bunjo of Christian Restoration Ministries said all churches, nationals and all social groups should work together to defeat the pandemic.
The post-elections, before elections, we saw COVID, which devastated our nation. Then the elections came, they left us also devastated. Then the COVID again. The nation is bleeding. So this time is a time which is going to be on the 31st of July. It's a moment of healing. And the theme is unity is power. When we have gaps, the enemy will kill us. But if we are united, so we will heal our nation.
Bunjo is now encouraging the entire country to join him on that 1st July this year for a national prayer under the theme, Unity is Power.
And it's going to be on each and every local radio in every area of Uganda. Every tribe will be praying in their language with their bishops. And these bishops, not from one denomination, different bishops from different denominations, will be lined up in their studio and then pray.
Edwin Yachwara, UBC News.
Prayer emphasized to win a time like this. We thank you so much for watching. Here comes a very short break. Please let's enjoy it together and return for more.
As the financial year 2020-2021 draws to an end, URA has put measures in place to facilitate taxpayers to file their returns and pay taxes within the set deadline. All our offices across the country and the URA Contact Center shall remain open to provide extra support to our esteemed taxpayers. Additionally, we have extended our contact center service hours from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Friday, and from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturdays and public holidays. In light of the COVID-19 risks, we encourage taxpayers to reach us through our improved contact center and other online platforms instead of making physical visits to our offices. For online support, please reach us through our toll-free lines 0800 117 000 or 0800 217 000. Email services@ura.go.ug. Website ura.go.ug. Social media: Facebook, URA page, Twitter @URA Uganda. URA Customs Help Tool, help.ura.go.ug/login. URA appreciates all taxpayers who have duly fulfilled their obligations. Stay safe and let us all observe the standard operating procedures to prevent further spread of the COVID-19 virus. Stay safe as we develop Uganda together.
Uganda Revenue Authority, developing Uganda together.
We've cut and reduced our MTN Momo withdrawal rates. Now you can withdraw mobile money at the lowest rates. You also get MTN Central Points when you deposit, send, and withdraw MTN mobile money. Visit our Momo agents countrywide and withdraw mobile money at our reduced rates from 1st May 2021. Everywhere you go, MTN.
The Universal Periodic Review, UPR, is a unique process under the United Nations. It involves peer review of the human rights records of all UN member states every 4 years. The ultimate aim of the UPR is to help improve on the human rights situation in all countries through technical assistance and cooperation. Uganda will be reviewed in January 2022. This is an opportunity to raise international advocacy on Uganda's human rights situation. The National Coalition of Human Rights Defenders Uganda is coordinating all CSOs to participate in the CSO alternative reporting process in liaison with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. For more information, email info@hrdcoalition.ug or call 0772 484 504.
COVID-19 kijja kugwa. If we get vaccinated now, observe social distancing, wear masks properly, sanitize or wash our hands with soap and water regularly. Together we can defeat this enemy.
In efforts to improve quality assurance and Uganda's competitiveness as a tourist destination, Uganda Tourism Board is set to undertake a nationwide grading and classification exercise of hotel and accommodation facilities. As a member of the East African community, Uganda subscribes to the East African Grading and Classification Criteria, a system denoted by stars ranging from 1 to 5. The grading and classification exercise will be crowned by the awarding of star ratings to facilities found compliant to the EAC minimum standards. This is therefore a call to all accommodation and facility owners and managers to register and get licensed by UTB as a requirement and get ready for participation. For more information, visit www.utb.go.ug or email qualityassurance@utb.go.ug for details. Uganda Tourism Board, promoting tourism together.
Welcome back from the break. It's UBC News Tonight. Minister for Information, Communications, Technology and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Baryomunsi, has cautioned politicians against distributing food to crowds to avoid fueling the spread of COVID-19. He has advised them to either channel any form of aid through the local and national COVID-19 task forces.
We have learned that some politicians, both from the ruling party and the opposition, have bought food, and some have started and others intend to distribute food to the population, and they are going to do it through gathering people to give them food, especially posho. And we would like to caution and give them advice that the position of government remains the same position we had in the last wave, where our guidance was and still remains that yes, we appreciate those who are concerned about the plight of our people, but if they are to give physical food, then they should donate it to the task forces, either the district task force, which is chaired by the RDC, or the national task force, which is chaired by the Right Honourable Prime Minister. We discourage politicians from giving food directly to the people, because this will breach the SOPs, and we are worried this can facilitate transmission of coronavirus, which will be very unfortunate. And therefore, we want to ask all those politicians, first of all, to prefer giving money like government has done if they have to support the vulnerable people. But in case they already have food items, then they should channel that food through the district task forces, so that the RDC and his or her team can then work out an arrangement how they can identify those who are in big need, and then they distribute the food without breaching the standard operating procedures.
Okay, but also, Honorable, people are hungry because they are locked up, they are not working. What is government doing about it?
Yes, they are hungry. Those whom we think are greatly affected by the lockdown measures, we use the offices of town clerks in Kampala, the cities and the municipalities to identify those critical people, and they have been given support, financial support through their telephones. We did not use the option of giving physical food. So yes, the lockdown measures are affecting all of us in one way or the other. We call for tolerance, we call for patience, because all of us are struggling to ensure that we bring down the infection rate. Because it doesn't make also sense for you to gather people in the guise of giving them food relief, and then it becomes a vehicle of passing on the virus, and it will negate all the achievements that we have so far in the fight against this coronavirus. So let's all understand and know that we need to together to bring down these infection rates, even when, yes, we know there is need to support our people.
And that brings us to the end of UBC News Tonight, this first edition. We'll get back to you with a bigger arrangement at 10 p.m. Please keep it UBC TV. My name is Michael Jordan Lukomwa, Mohammed Bugalu, the man in the sign language. Bye-bye for now.
COVID-19 chija kugwa. If we get vaccinated now, observe social distancing, wear masks properly, sanitize or